But let's go ahead and get into this video here with Kyle Kalinske, Secular Talk. He says, Iran humiliates Trump and checkmates him for the world to see. Let's see here, because I just woke up not too long ago, so this might be some breaking news he's going to break here. So let's see what he's got to say.
Give you the story. You're not going to hear much about this in the press in the U.S., but to put this as simply as possible, Iran has already checkmated Trump and humiliated Trump on the world scene. So as Murtaza Hussein says here, and this is from an Al Jazeera.
And just so you guys know, this guy doesn't like Trump. You guys know that I'm critical of his foreign policy as well. So what I'm going to do is, let's see if he's accurate here. Because if this is some bullshit, I'm going to call it out too. So I'm watching this video for the first time, just like you guys. So let's see.
Zero report, but others are reporting on it as well. The Iranian president, Masoud Pezeshkian, has signed a law ceasing Iranian cooperation with the IAEA. That's the International Atomic Energy Agency.
Okay, I knew that. You guys, I broke this news to you guys a couple, literally right after the ceasefire, their parliament voted on this, and we broke that here first. So
after recent attacks on nuclear sites, even if cooperation is reestablished later, the breakdown in continuity of knowledge will cause an issue. Let me explain what this means in simple terms. Iran is building a nuke.
Yep. He's right about that. That's a fucking fact. They're going to be building a nuke. That's a fact.
They're building a nuke and they're going to get the nuke. That's what this means. So in other words, what I told you would happen, what other astute viewers of this situation told you would happen, it's happened. That Trump pulled out of the Iranian nuclear agreement for no reason. It was working perfectly. It was Obama's deal. It was working literally perfectly. Over a dozen times it was validated. They're following it. No problem whatsoever. Trump ripped it up because Obama did it, right? And did Mr. Tough Guy routine, killed Qasem Soleimani, one of their top commanders who was fighting ISIS on the ground, put very onerous sanctions on them, greenlit an Israeli attack on them, which killed many top Iranian Revolutionary Guard officials and others, top military officials and political officials. Then Trump got involved and did the bombing of the 3 major nuclear sites, right? But as we said at the time, and U.S. intelligence came out right after and said it, they didn't, they're fine. They're the damage at their main nuclear, Fordo, their main nuclear facility, it's actually not that bad. It was hit, but the uranium is fine, number one. Number two, they actually had moved it out even before the strike because Trump was broadcasting, I'm probably going to bomb you. So they moved it out.
Okay, let's go through this real quick. Let me give you guys all the different things. As you guys know, this Iran conflict is one of my specialties, right? I think me and Nick are reporting on this the most accurate by far, okay? Which if you guys don't know, go check out my guy Nick Fuentes has done fantastic coverage on this thing too. Everything he predicted, to a T. Fantastic analysis. On my end, you guys know I spend a significant amount of time on Twitter Spaces with actual Iranians on the ground, and I'm able to get quite a bit of intimate knowledge with, what's going on the ground in Iran. So I was able to kind of give you not just the military analysis and the foreign policy analysis, but you guys were in there with me on some of these streams where, we're actively seeing, what went down. So let's understand the narratives from the different viewpoints. So the United States' assertion is that the nuclear strikes were successful. The strikes were successful on nuclear facilities, Isfahan, Fordo, and I forget the last one. Something Natanz. So the strikes were successful, and according to the Pentagon, they're saying that they pushed Israel's nuclear program back roughly 1 to 2 years. Okay, that's what the White House is saying, and the Pentagon walked in with our B-2 bombers. They didn't even know we were there. They flew from Missouri all the way to the fucking Middle East in a kind of in a tight line. They had a diversion strategy where they had some of the planes fly off to the side so that they could get picked up on radar, or if they do get picked up on radar, the decoys get picked up. Meanwhile, the real bombers with the actual bombs dropped something like 14 to 20 bombs on all the different nuclear sites to absolutely eviscerate what was left. Because remember, guys, the Israelis struck first, bombed the facilities. They have bunker busters, but they don't have the same bunker busters that we have. Because we have bunker busters that, now that we know, have pretty much been in production since 2009. Okay, so these bunker busters that we utilized on Fordo, the big nuclear facility with the that's in a fucking mountain, we had intel guys surveilling that thing since 2009. Chat. That was when Obama was in fucking office. That was a long time ago. Okay? right? I had just like graduated from high school. 15 years, 16 years actually. They had been doing this. So they bombed the fuck out the facilities. They said it's destroyed. And their quote is, it pushed them back roughly 1 year. Now, the Iranians and other media, and this is what the American media is saying as well, Fox News, etc., they're all saying the mission was a great success, blah, blah. Now, Iranian and alternative media says, yeah, they bombed us. Yes, they slowed us down, but they did not completely destroy and cripple our ability to manufacture nuclear weapons in the future. And roughly 400 kilos of highly enriched uranium was moved out. How do we know this? There were satellite images of a bunch of cars at Fordo, the nuclear facility in the mountain, days prior to the bombing. Now, the alternative and Iranian government proclaims that's when they were pulling out the uranium and other sensitive items that they need to enrich, versus Western media says they were just there to fortify the nuclear facility itself, thinking that they could stop it. So you get two different conflicting stories. So one end, America says, yeah, we saw them on satellite. We knew they were there, but they weren't there to take any uranium out or anything else like that. It's too big. They can't get it out. They were there to fortify it and put more concrete, thinking it would save them. Versus the Iranians and other people are saying, no, they pulled out what they needed to. Right? So these are the two opposing sides. Now, what I think is important for you guys to take away from this, because obviously there's conflicting stories. The bottom line is simply this. The regime is still the same. That's a fact. The parliament voted to kick the IAEA out. That's a fact. So let's assume best case scenario that the United States actually did completely destroy their nuclear capabilities and set them back to 1 to 2 years, as the Pentagon is saying. That's irrelevant because they've already demonstrated the ability to enrich uranium at a high level. They've mastered the enrichment cycle, and they know what they're doing. Though Israel assassinated a lot of scientists, they didn't assassinate all the scientists. Though they assassinated commanders, they didn't assassinate all the commanders. They didn't get the Ayatollah. The Ayatollah was in hiding the whole time, and Israel was looking for him, but they couldn't assassinate him. One of the generals they thought they killed survived. So even if we go with the Western narrative that they destroyed everything and they got the enriched uranium that they're claiming that they actually have, it doesn't matter because the regime is still there and they can rebuild it within 2 years. So was this really a W? I say no. I think no. Because now you kick out the IAEA, your eyes into their nuclear program is gone. Diplomacy is severed. Now you've pretty much made it where they have to get a bomb now. There's no choice. And the Iranians are treating this as a victory. Why are they treating this as a victory? Because the United States and Israel attacked them, but the regime is still intact. For them, that's a big W. They look at it like the imperialism of the West tried to come here and attack us and affect regime change, and they failed. So the fact that they're still standing is the W to them. And not only are they still standing, but contrary to Western media, they actually hit Israel back really fucking hard. Israeli media obviously tried to suppress this information from you guys, but the reality is that Iran's missile program, their ballistic missile program, is pretty fucking good. Ben-Gvir even admitted that, damn, they hit us harder than we thought they were going to hit us. He even admitted this. So, and also keep in mind that Israel, the Israeli media and the Israeli government were suppressing information. They were suppressing information so that for two main reasons, twofold reasons. Number one, they didn't want the population to collapse and people fucking go crazy and, leave the country in panic, which people were trying to do. That's number one, right? Because remember, guys, Israel was created to make the Jews feel safe, right? As their homeland. So them getting bombed to fucking hell isn't good for, press and coverage because they want people to move there. That's number one. And then number two, besides the civil unrest reason, the other reason was from operational security, aka OPSEC, which is if the media documents where the missiles are hitting, the Iranians will know exactly where that is and they can fine-tune their strikes to be more accurate. and Israel couldn't afford that. Now, with that said, we saw a whole bunch of fucking, bombs hitting Israel, right? Do I need to fucking remind you guys, with what happened with there? We know a bunch of fucking missiles hit.
Boom, boom, boom.
And I've shown you guys a video before. We know a bunch of missiles hit. And then last week, I showed you guys a clip where Israeli media even admitted, yeah, they hit us. We didn't report it. So why am I telling you guys all this? I'm telling you guys all this to let you know that despite what Western media tells you, even in the best case scenario, let's assume that we believe everything they say, it's still an L. But anyway, let's go ahead and go back here to Kolinsky's analysis. Give me words in the chat if that makes sense, guys. I covered a lot there, but give me ones if that makes sense. I really do want you guys to understand this Iran-Israel conflict to an intimate level. That's why I kind of went in detail there on what the narrative is versus what happened versus how do we move from this. Give me ones if that makes sense. All right, awesome. Cool. And if it's confusing, put a 2 and tell me why, guys. If it's confusing, put a 2 and then tell me why. I'm looking at the chat.
And moved it to some protected area, right? And what did I tell you? I told you that with Trump doing this, now Iran would be masochistic if they didn't say, okay, we're going to build a nuke now. Because the only way they can guarantee that Israel and the U.S. can't fuck with them is to have a nuke. And you learn this from history, right?
And it's crazy to me, bro. You know what's really annoying, chat? Liberal political commentators are so much more on the money when it comes to Israel-Iran than right-wing political commentators, bro. It's actually fucking crazy. They're so much more on the money when it comes to foreign policy, bro. It's actually fucking embarrassing. We're over here talking about they're our greatest allies. Meanwhile, guys like Kyle with fucking dyed hair are giving better analysis on this conflict than like Steven Crowder. It's fucking wild, dude.
Muammar Gaddafi gave up his weapons of mass destruction. Then what happened? He got sodomized with a bayonet and murdered on camera.
That's true. That's actually brutally true.
And the U.S. helped overthrow him. So he gave up his weapons of mass destruction.
Yep, Hillary Clinton in the Obama era.
He was killed. Okay. What about Kim Jong-un? Well, Kim Jong-un has a nuclear weapon, has broadcast he has a nuclear weapon, and he's still
AK Rocket Man
around. Why? Because they know there's nothing we can do to overthrow him. The U.S. knows that. Because if we try something, he could just launch on Seoul, South Korea in an instant and kill everybody there, vaporize them all. So it's a deterrent to Western aggression. Can't do anything to me because I could destroy you guys too, right? Well, here's Iran, basically been a sitting duck this whole time, fucked with by the U.S. Even when they abide by the terms of an agreement that everybody signed on to, the U.S. violates the agreement. The U.S. sanctions them. Then Israel and the U.S. bomb them. So now, if you're them, you're going, I'd be an idiot not to build a nuke. And now, they're broadcasting it to the world because now the Iranian government is saying, we no longer accept the International Atomic Energy Agency coming in here, regulating our nukes, checking how much we're enriching it. We are done with you. We're done with you. We're done with the West. We're done with the U.S. We're done with Israel. We're done with the UN. We're done with the IAEA. It's over. Now, we'll do whatever the fuck we want.
And I will say, guys, they were playing by the rules when they were in the nuclear deal because there were so many countries involved. That's why I was moving forward and it was going to get done. But the Israel lobby made sure to step in and fucking destroy that deal.
With our uranium. So what are they going to do? They're going to enrich. They're going to enrich to the point where they have a bomb.
Also, guys, we passed 3,500 on Kick, man. Thank you guys so much, man. We passed the fucking goal, baby. Let's go. Shout out to you ninjas, man. Shout out to you guys on Kick, man. We're building an audience on Kick as well. Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. It's one of my smaller platforms. But I think people are liking the political analysis and the different take. I don't think there's anyone like me on Kick right now at this moment that covers culture and politics from a right-wing perspective. and talks about them boys on Kick. I think I'm the only one at this point. The only other political commentator I could think of on Kick, we got Destiny, which I'll be debating Destiny, by the way, guys, at the Turning Point USA event in mid-July. So stay tuned for that one. Another big announcement.
Welcome, punch.
And then let's see here. We got also Osmongold. But I would consider Osmongold more of a libertarian centrist. But hey, you know. But yeah. So the political commentary, man, we're cooking on Kick.
At least
We're gonna go to number one, baby.
enriched to the point where they can break out to get a bomb in a day, right? And this would guarantee now you can't fuck with us. And so Trump's whole big macho man tough guy routine, we destroyed it all. He was berating U.S. intelligence and the U.S. media for acknowledging the fact that he didn't get the uranium, right? Trying to save face. We did. It was great. It was total destruction. We absolutely did exactly what we wanted. Everything's great. Well, now, in due time, and my guess is they'll announce it at some point, yeah, they got a nuke.
All right, this guy Ben Wu is spamming in the chat. We need more context. Started in the 1980s. Okay. So in the 1980s, guys, I think 1981, the Israelis bombed Saddam Hussein because Saddam Hussein was trying to acquire a nuclear bomb. So they bombed him, right? And that pretty much stopped his ability to get the nuclear bomb. Now, the Iranians saw this and were smart enough to realize, oh shit, we need to put our fucking nuclear facilities underground, right? Deep underground if we want to be able to protect our program. So that's kind of how it started when it came to the arms race in the Middle East. Israel was the first to get the nuclear bomb in the 60s, shortly after John F. Kennedy's death, right? And we know who shot him. Then Iraq tried to follow suit, but got attacked by Israel for trying to do that.
They got a nuke. And so, in all seriousness, this is Iran checkmating Trump. And it also, given everything that's happened to this point, it would honestly be...
I wouldn't say this is a checkmate, but I would say it's definitely an L on our end, for sure. Granted, you know Kyle Kalinske hates fucking Trump, so he's going to say language like that, like you checkmated him. I don't think it was a checkmate. Rather, we just lost. We lost.
Be the best case scenario.
At least on this exchange.
Because if they don't get the nuke, well then Israel at some point is going to bomb them again. They're already talking about how they're going to bomb them again. You think Trump won't go back in there and start bombing them? Of course he would. The only way to guarantee that doesn't happen is for them to have a nuke. That's it. That's the only way, is for them to have a nuke. Because then Tel Aviv is in danger. Saudi Arabia is in danger, right? That's another thing. They have other nuclear options they could use if necessary, which would be destroying all of Saudi Arabia's oil fields. That would be a catastrophe for the global economy.
Thanks.
Make it so massive gas shortages in the West, where we'd be cooked in that scenario. They already have other nuclear options, but
also, don't let the media fool you guys. Iran and Saudi Arabia have good relations now. The mainstream media will try to tell you guys that they hate each other, but that was before. Now they've pretty much normalized relations. I mean, they've done, they've done rehearsals with the Saudi Arabian Air Force. Dude, I'm telling you guys, if it wasn't for the United States, dude, the Arab world would fucking unite and get rid of Israel within 24 hours, bro. But it's only because of America's protection that Israel's able to operate the way that they do and operate with the recklessness that they operate at. It's the only reason, bro. None of those Arab countries want them there, dude. I'm telling you. They'll feign diplomacy. Like Saudi Arabia kind of plays both sides for financial benefit. But the reality is nobody wants Israel there in the Arab world.
that's the path they're going now, is they're going to get a nuke. So in other words, what happened here, ladies and gentlemen, was the exact opposite of what Trump said would happen and what Trump wanted to happen. The exact opposite. We told you, if he does this, they are more likely to get a nuke, not less likely.
Yeah.
So their own stated goals, the exact opposite happened. Because they suck at everything. Not only are they evil, not only are they
here we go into the liberals' name calling. Here we go.
sadistic, they're also massively incompetent. Massively incompetent.
I'm going to be honest. It is kind of funny, though, to watch liberals fucking lose their minds over Trump. It is kind of funny. Like, if Trump does something stupid, they're on the fucking line immediately. Saying, oh, you're evil, fascism. I'm shocked he hasn't said the term fascism yet. Let's see if he uses it.
Competent. But we may actually be able to stave off a regime change war of aggression by Israel and the U.S. in a scenario where they do get a nuke. So that's what this is. This announcement is going to fly under the radar. Many people are not going to talk about it. But really what's happening here is the Iranian president is saying, we're now going to build that nuke.
Yeah. Yeah, them kicking the IAEA out is absolutely the declaration that we're going to build a nuke now. 100%. That is true.
Because it's existential to them. This war is existential to them. That Netanyahu wants regime change. Trump had agreed to regime change, but they did the bombing and then they backed out a little bit. There's a window of opportunity open. It is their only move now is that. And that's what this announcement is. To say the IAEA can't come in here anymore, that is, we have the uranium.
Yeah, and they made that decision, chat, like 2 weeks ago. After the ceasefire was brokered, they voted on our parliament like the next day, and all of them overwhelmingly said IAEA out. The IAEA is gone. They're out. Get them the fuck up out of here. And then they started chanting death to America after.
We're doing what
it's like, why the fuck did we get involved, man?
What we want with it. And guess what? We're going to do the thing that guarantees we don't get fucked with anymore. So, waging illegal and offensive wars against countries that didn't attack you and weren't building a nuke, that was always what you should have done. No illegal and offensive wars against countries that didn't attack you and aren't building a nuke. And now he made it so that they will build it. So yet again, another complete and utter catastrophic failure from the Trump regime, where, oh, I want to be Mr. Tough Guy, Mr. Badass, and he ripped up an agreement that was working perfectly. No more stupid sanctions on Iran. They got their own money back, and they weren't building a nuke. And he ripped it up. So yet again, we're going to be put in a situation where another Democratic president will have to clean up the mess that this absolute moron made.
Okay, I don't know if a Democratic president would fix it, because Joe Biden didn't fucking fix it either. He claimed that he was going to get Iran back in the nuclear deal, but he didn't do it. So come on, bro.